You have developed the ability to tune.
Welcome to the Too Old or Pure Gold Movie Podcast. In today's episode, we're discussing the 1998 gothic sci-fi movie Dark City. I'm not sure that's the right genre, but the format of our podcast, two Gen Xers rewatch beloved movies from our youth to find out, are they really as good as we remember? To help us debate and ultimately pass judgment, we ask our millennial co-host to watch these movies for the first time and help us determine, are they too old or pure gold? I'm your host, Olen Vanderleeden, representing Gen X. Joining me today is my Gen X co-host, Mathew Stockton.
Hello, everybody.
Mathew, sleep. No. Representing the millennials this week, we have talented musician Clef Seeley.
Oh, man. The old Cracker Barrel ain't what it used to be.
And Clef, I love bringing you in for some of these odd movies. I don't know whether it's a reward or a punishment, but we'll find out. Also representing Gen Z this week, we have the most likely of our cast to be able to tune, Nicole.
Hello.
Before we get into this episode, just a reminder that we need your support to grow this podcast, so please remember to like, follow, subscribe, so we can keep bringing you this content. Today's movie is the 1998 sci-fi movie Dark City. Dark City stars Kiefer Sutherland, William Hurt, and an early appearance by Jennifer Connelly. Dark City was written and directed by Alex Proyas. Alex's directorial debut was The Crow, and he went on to make a number of cool movies after this, including I, Robot. And Mathew, our friend Dan from the Jumanji episode, has worked with him on I, Robot, so that's kind of cool. Ooh. The tagline from the movie poster is, "They build the city to see what makes us tick. Last night, one of them went off." IMDb describes the film as a man struggles with memories of his past, which include a wife he cannot remember and a nightmarish world no one else ever seems to wake up from. And for those of you that have not seen the movie, I asked my 93-year-old dad to watch Dark City and summarize the plot.
The action in the 1998 science fiction movie Dark City is indeed taking place in a dark and gloomy city. It starts with John Murdoch waking up in a strange hotel room. He has no idea why he is there. He learns that he is being accused of having committed a brutal murder of which he has absolutely no memory. All of this makes him think that he has gone completely mad. What follows is basically the story of Murdoch's efforts to unravel his twisted identity. Murdoch discovers there is a group called the Strangers who have been experimenting by implanting whole sets of new memories into unsuspecting citizens' brains. They are trying to prove that people are simply the sum of their memories, and that there is no such thing as inborn personality or character. Of course, the movie does not provide an answer to these questions, but it does present a set of ideas worthy of discussion. However, just note that John Murdoch believes people are more than the sum of their experiences.
Tell me, what did you guys think of this movie? I'm honestly, I cannot guess what you guys are going to say about this one. I'm not even sure what I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I feel sort of the same way. I was thinking about trying to do this whole podcast with the Kiefer Sutherland cadence of saying just a few words at a time and in somewhat strange places.
And a little out of breath.
Okay,
well, that's easily the best accent ever. I love it.
Okay, well, I'll jump right in. I liked the plot insofar as I didn't understand it. So when I was kind of mixed up about what was happening, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I wonder where this is going. And when it was revealed to me, I sort of that's when I started to lose a little bit of interest. I found the movie to be very well made. I really enjoyed the editing. I liked how the movie just punches you in the face and gets started. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? I'm so disoriented right now. And I was disoriented for the first half hour. And one thing I really noticed about this movie was time was a big theme and clocks and all that stuff. but the movie was so on time with everything. Like the action, I was watching this as it was happening. Like the acts of the movie were exactly 30-minute segments that made up a movie that was exactly 90 minutes long. Like the credits landed at 1 hour 30 minutes. Boom. Like, so I liked the tightness. I liked the band as well. I liked Jennifer Connelly's band.
Oh, nice.
I like that as well.
That's good. Very well described, Clef. That's why I love having you on these sometimes odd ones, because you do a great analysis. You know, for me, this is a really interesting one, because this is one of those ones I saw it in the theater and then I forgot about it. And then when I saw the title again and I thought, oh, I remember some cool things in that. Like I just have, you know, small clips of memories of this movie. And then when I watch it again, I mean, I think it's very ambitious. I think there's a ton of cool elements. I'm not sure they quite pulled it off, but I enjoyed watching it, and I kind of wish they had pulled it off, because I think there's some really cool stuff in here.
Well, are you sure that you watched it, or did they not just implant the memory of you watching it into your mind?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to get into simulation theory here, for sure.
I really liked it.
You did.
I enjoyed it. And I know you all keep saying like, oh, it's a weird one. It's confusing. It's so out there. I thought it was a pretty basic plot and super easy to follow. I didn't think there was anything that weird about it. I thought it was just like a good, solid movie that was...
Good. Well, I can't wait till we get to the reviews.
So much so that they fully explained what was going on. They didn't even leave it open to interpretation. Kiefer Sutherland fully told you exactly what was happening, which I like. I like knowing what's going on.
Okay, well, can I tell you, before we go on to Mathew or Clef's comment there, I'll just bring this point forward, that exposition at the front, I had a question here. How do we feel about exposition? I don't always like to be told everything ahead of time. The studio forced him to put that in, and in the director's cut, he pulled it out again. Because the studio said, like, nobody's going to get this, you idiot. Like, just can you just please explain? They put Peter's plot up front and then said, now you can watch the movie. Sorry, I interrupted you, Clef.
No, that's fine. That kind of makes sense to me. I get that sort of tracks with what I watched.
Okay, I can't wait to hear from my weird friend Mathew about this weird movie.
Is that how you describe me to people? Your weird friend?
No, he says my gay friend.
And I call Olen my straight friend.
Match made in heaven.
Exactly. I think you can't not compare this movie to The Matrix, and a lot of people have. And it came out the year before, and everyone talks about The Matrix, which was a great movie, as sort of this great metaphor for awakening. But I think Dark City is kind of pure. It's lonelier. It's a little bit more Kafkaesque. It's sort of like film noir, as theology of becoming sort of thing. And
one might say it's a gothic sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's I just felt that I can't there's no red pill. It's just this slow horror of realizing your memories were written by somebody else, and you're living that story, and I think that's sort of more relevant today than it was in 1998, right? We all kind of wake up to like versions of a world that people are trying to create. Like every morning it's different, and what I loved about this movie was the end as well. Like, once you see that others are trying to write your story, that darkness doesn't scare you anymore, and you just start building your own sun. And I thought that was like, it was. I found it I felt good at the end, like, because there's some shit going on in my life. Just about like, what do I do? And and I'm like, I'll just build my own sun. That's. I was left with that movie in my head, going, I'm just going to build my own sun.
I say it every time we get this group together, but I got the right cast for this movie. You guys, I love listening to you talk about what you got out of it.
Yeah, that was a great explainer, Mathew. Like goosebumps.
I've never seen this film before, and I thought I was going to hate it, and loved it.
I do try hard to pick up some movies that might be forgotten, and I do like ones that, sometimes we do movies that I've seen a ton of times, so I know them inside out. But I do like the ones that I literally haven't seen since the day. And I just had these images of the city recreating itself and growing, and just thought it's so cool. And yeah,
It's
I mean,
super cool.
visually, this movie was very cool.
Oh.
Right?
A lot of really cool sets. Like, I mean, it almost felt like it shared the Matrix, like in terms of its like stylistic, you know, like but definitely, like Matthew says, a lot lonelier.
Well, what's interesting, Clef, is that when this movie was done, they sold the sets to the Matrix.
Oh.
Seriously, like they're okay. That's a wrap. Now the Matrix moves in, and they filmed it on the same sets.
That's pretty cool.
So
That totally tracks.
From a visual standpoint, it's probably one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Like the visuals were incredible.
I loved like the alien concepts, like the outfits that they wore were pretty cool. Even the alien essence, like when their brains spill out, it was kind of like its
cool.
own alien. Remember that? Like a spider crawling out of their heads when their heads get crushed.
Yeah, I mean, the aliens, to me, I think that the aliens stylistically and visually and their voices, they had very like classic alien voices. You know, I wasn't super, you know, Mr. Hand and Mr. Book. And, you know, it didn't feel like aliens to me. It felt more gothic. It felt more like of this world. It felt more like maybe interdimensional or whatever. Like, I do think that when they realized that they're on a spaceship, you know, that was to me like where I kind of went, okay, you know, like a little on the nose, but, you know, still fun, like getting to that point.
Actually, I thought that part was very cool. Because I did early in the film, I'm like, boy, this is a lot of work for the aliens. Every night, you got to find every person, you got to redress them and move them, and you got to imprint their memories. And I'm like, boy, like if there's 8 billion people you're doing this to, how many aliens are there? But then I realized, oh, this is just a small rat's maze, right? Like this is just a small city with a handful of people, and
It's an isolated experiment.
it's a simulation. And then I thought, oh, and now it's on a spaceship. That's even cooler.
But then, you know, like that's why, like with Dr. Schraber and like when he meets the wife, like he's got the rat's maze, like literally in there. I was just a little like, okay, you know, it's an experiment, you know.
I don't agree on that front, but I do agree with Mr. Music about the alien design. I think they looked a little too human and they dressed a little too human. Although maybe they were trying to, because
But
they
a
were
lot of
trying to learn
buckles.
about it.
Yeah.
A lot of buckles. And I mean, who's going to be that bold about aliens to wear buckles?
They were
everywhere?
posing as humans. They were posing.
Yeah.
I have a gut feel. I'm going to make a bet that Mathew dressed like that in his late teens. Mathew, do you have that trench coat with buckles?
I didn't have buckles. I had a trench coat though.
Yeah, I knew it.
See, I think that sort of maze effect, sort of this embedded memories that there's an ocean, but there isn't really one, is kind of a metaphor for sort of where we are with late stage capitalism. Of this promise of you can, if you work hard, you're gonna get to the beach and the ocean, but you're really just in this little rat trap that we keep changing on you.
So true. So true.
I have to say, this movie makes me feel better about the fact that I have huge blank spots in my memories all the time where I just go, did I do that? It's so...
Me too. It's from too much MDMA.
That's your
You gotta take it to
excuse.
bring it back. Rebrand.
I did think that was really cool that they were just like injecting memories, but also just fully different lives every day. Not just changing the memories and then letting it play out a little bit, but every single day, a completely different life.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, look, I always used to look at simulation theory as the nuttiest of the nuttiest crackpots and conspiracy theories out there. But these days I think, why not? Like, you know, anything's possible.
I just think that if it's an injection, you know, like why, if it's a simulation, is it an injection? Like personally, I just always find injections so squeamish. You know, this movie had a lot of injecting.
I think right into the forehead is
You got to put those memories directly into the brain.
that's difficult.
Right between the eyes.
And I think it's going to leave a bruise. But as far as props
Not
go,
if you have alien technology. Anti-bruise needles.
Our friend Dan has taught me to watch for props now, and that needle, that syringe, like if you were to keep a prop from this movie, I would want one of those syringes.
Oh,
I would just bring it
so
to
true.
parties. Matthew, what do you think of simulation theory? What's the chance that we are just a computer simulation?
I think it's less than zero, but I think the lies that we're told, that we don't even realize, is the simulation.
Yeah, capitalism is a simulation, right? It's a bunch of games that we play for the essence of survival, and like you have to find the game that works for you so that you can play kind of the bigger game, which is like the make money game, which nobody really wants to just make money for the sake of it. They want to live, but then you get caught up in the whole thing, and like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in a world where we almost have our first trillionaire, actually, we probably have a trillionaire. We just don't know who it is. You know, it's when it's that out of whack, and but yeah, exactly. But when it's that out of whack, but we keep going, we've fallen into the simulation of
It's a great
life.
point. It's like the media that we're all experiencing today with all of these bullshit stories that they're trying to get us to absorb through social media. I mean,
The AI stuff.
that's the syringe to the brain, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually stopped. You know, if there's a big story, I'll go to a few different proper news outlets, but I just avoid anything unless it's on.
Yeah, and Nicole makes a great point. AI is so good these days that you can see an actual person and it looks like them and it sounds like them, but it's not them. So
You don't know anymore.
So-
It's
right?
very
You don't know.
upsetting.
before we move on, what were they trying to figure out? The aliens, I think they said they were trying to figure out what makes the human soul.
Yeah, what makes a person a person? What makes humans humans so that they can figure out the soul so that they can save their species.
Right.
And like I was drawing like one connection I made with this also besides the Matrix was John Wick because of how the storyline is about being trapped in sort of a genre or like trapped inside like a stylistic playground of because it's like a film noir and all of the film noir tropes are in this movie. We've got the hard-boiled detective who is on the case and who's kind of like just one step behind, and you've got the sort of even right down to like choosing a leading man with a bit of a wonky eye. Like, what is it about the wonky eye that's like so interesting to look at?
I think just to answer Olen's question, I think it was kind of clear to me that, like, why are they doing it? Was that your
Yeah.
question?
Why are they doing it? And they did make a reference to trying to understand the soul.
They're a dying species, a hive mind that sort of lost the ability to be individuals, and they have their collective consciousness is fading, and they think humans hold the key to saving themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're looking for is the soul, but what they don't realize is that you can't find the soul.
Right.
I really enjoyed that it was kind of implied in this movie that whatever experiment they were doing to try and change people every day was failing because they implanted the memories, but the person still acted like themselves. They just kind of had confusing memories, which I really liked that it was like, you just are who you are. You are this person, no matter what your memories are.
Right. Different situations, but you are. Right. And what I loved was, these aliens are looking for the soul, right? And when Murdoch sort of creates the ocean at the end there, right? That's something the strangers could never have imagined, right? Because they don't get it. So that's the evidence of soul, sort of creation, which is...
Yeah, it's very deep. I find this movie fascinating. I'm really glad that I got to do it with you guys.
I have to jump in. The only problem I had with this movie is my husband and I are on currently season 5 of 24 with Jack Bauer, and we're doing like 3 episodes every night back to back for the last number of weeks. So I put this on, and for the whole time, all I could think was Jack Bauer, he's breathy in Jack Bauer as well, and he says things like this. Right? So this whole movie, I'm like fucking Jack Bauer.
I also had that throughout this too. It was like it's like he's a different archetype, but he's still the same person.
Did you notice the only two swears that Jack Bauer does? Like when you watch like multiple years of a show back to back, like not right, they were made back in the day when it was like a week at a time. He only swears two ways: "God damn it" and "son of a bitch." And every episode, my husband and I count the "God damn it's" and "sons of bitches, and I was like waiting for them in this movie.
I've got a really odd Kiefer Sutherland movie chambered for you guys for a future episode. You're gonna love it.
I can't wait.
I love it.
Another thing I really enjoyed about this,
Lost
and
Boys?
it's kind of similar to my last point.
No, I'm saying no to Mathew, not you.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, I guess I can shut up.
No, Nicole, no more
Free
ideas.
speech zone. You can
No more ideas. Kick me out of here. No, another thing I really liked was the implied idea of soulmates. Because at the end, she didn't remember him at all, but she met him and she knew that she was meant to hang out with him. She was meant to connect with him.
Nicole, I had in my best parts a wife supporting her husband even though he seems unhinged.
Yes. Well, when she did remember him, she was so like, she trusts him so much and she loves him so much. She doesn't question it. She tackles a cop for him. She believes him when he's in prison. Like, it made me so happy to see such a strong relationship. But then I just really liked the implied idea of soulmates. Even without their memories, they connected again.
I like it. Well, it's a great segue into best parts, and that's a good way to kick it off. And I'm gonna go from there and say that the special effects really good in this, and I thought the costumes were really good in this.
Yeah. I think the special effects held up surprisingly well.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I also like the concept of tuning, like pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think you mean tuning.
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 I can't do the key. I can't do the Kiefer Sutherland. I can't do the
You
Schreiber.
have developed the ability to tune.
Thank you for my cold open.
Yeah, I would love that power. That'd be pretty sick.
It's a pretty big power to have to just sort of be going through the motions like this.
You know what? I'm looking at my best parts list, and I take back my wish to have the needle. If I could have one thing from this movie to keep, I would keep the baby alien.
Yeah, that kid.
The tiny goth bald little baby alien. He was so good.
Who bites his fingers when he's hanging off the side of the building. Oh, yeah.
That's not to jump to worst parts, but one of my only worst parts was creepy bald child hated when he bit John's hand like a feral creature. It was very upsetting.
You guys have anything else on your best of list?
My best bits were the first time the city reshapes itself.
Definitely.
Yes.
Right? Because that's the moment you realize the environment isn't stable and maybe you aren't either. And the other one was, even though like it drove me crazy, Kiefer Sutherland whispering like he's not drunk. You know what I mean? It's sort of funny. I think Rufus Sewell's face when he realizes his memories aren't his, it's sort of this cool... He did a really good job at that moment, that sort of terror and liberation at the same time. Yeah. And the self-made ocean and the sun.
Shell Beach.
Which was, it was almost like, it's not a happy ending. It's an existential mic drop.
Totally.
Right? He's free. He's aware. You know what I mean?
I just really loved the vibes.
So, yeah.
It just had such a good vibe the whole time. It was so cool. It felt cohesive. It was...
Like,
I kind of wish, though, even though it was called Dark City, I wish it wasn't so dark.
Well, it is a film noir, and I did like that how at the end of the movie, this was one of my favorite lines, but the whole monologue that he gives to Bumstead about, like, do you even remember seeing the day? Like, it starts off, the way that he's saying it is like he's going to be sort of metaphorical, but then he's like, no, like, actually, when do you remember... like seeing the day and being awake in the day.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
last week,
and it's like,
a month ago, this year.
You have this like breaking moment where you realize like this isn't a storyline anymore. Now he's aware, he's inside, like he's aware, he's outside of the story. And I thought it was really cool.
I know it's so cool because I think we all have these memories where people tell us we have these memories, but we don't really.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I also just thought it was so cool that occasionally someone wakes up and they're just living in this like a nightmare world where everyone around them is changing and not really aware of what's going on. And I did like when that one guy woke up and he said, I found a way out, and then he just fell in front of a train.
Oh, yeah.
That was like kind of a scary moment that was pretty cool.
Also very Matrix-like. Like there were so many overlaps with the Matrix. I also liked just that you can sleep part. When the alien just says, you can sleep, and then the people just go out. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, the whole world freezing at midnight was so cool. I like the second it turned midnight, everyone just immediately fell asleep. It was such a cool scene.
Before we go to worst parts, I just want to give a shout out to William Hurt too. Is he just great in everything he does? I thought he did a good job in this. Okay, yeah. Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. Worst
I don't know
part.
actors' names enough. I don't know who he is.
He's Bumstead.
Oh yeah, he did amazing.
Bumstead.
Yeah, I like how he's like sitting and like playing the accordion while figuring out this.
That's how I solve problems.
William Hurt is one of the great actors. Worst parts has to be the studio forced voiceover at the beginning, which gives away the mystery before we've earned it.
So bad.
Right? It's like someone. It was like somebody explaining a dream while you're still asleep. Right? And the other one was some of the effects look like they were rendered on caffeine and sincerity, but not that great. But you know, I think the ambition of this movie was the point. You know, even though it feels sometimes a little bit rough around the edges, it kind of still felt like part of the texture. Like the aliens are faking a world, so it's a little bit rough around the edges.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about the reception of this movie with you guys. But on worst parts, I had the name Bumstead.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say.
Is that like a gay guy who's a steadfast bottom?
Maybe.
I
don't know who to consult on this.
Or like on your heels kind of thing. Like I don't know. It felt to me like a character that was written like with a Mad Lib's name, or like you know, like they were trying to fill in. It's a film noir. We have to come up with names for these characters. So I gave it a pass.
How did you guys like the timelessness part of this movie?
You know, but you do know that Bumstead is a real name.
Oh yeah.
There's like a
that's
Canadian bodybuilder named Chris. There's a Canadian bodybuilder named Chris Bumstead.
What were you saying about the timelessness?
I said, what did you guys think about the timelessness of this movie? That it was clearly trying to obfuscate what era it was.
Oh, I had that in my best parts. I really liked that because the aliens said we fashioned this from the past and the present and the future. Like they fashioned their world, and I thought that's really cool because then you have things like modern phones, but really old-fashioned wheelchairs. Just the blend of all of the different time periods made it a really cool, and what's the word I'm looking for? It just made it like a really interesting, cool.
Yeah, it kind of felt like my great-grandmother's house. You know, she was 100, so she had shit from the last 100 years. So you had all these different elements.
It made it feel more place, you know? Like dissociated, disconnected from the real world, because it was just so blended. It felt like this isn't a real time. It made it feel more like a fake simulation.
Agreed. One more worst part for me, it really bothered me, the idea of swimming in a shirt, Dr. Schreiber.
Yeah.
When he was in the pool swimming with his shirt on. It just feels...
Have you never swam in a shirt when you had a sunburn and you wanted to swim?
He doesn't get sunburned.
I don't get sunburned, and I hate a wet shirt.
This movie takes place in night.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just... Olen's just saying a wet shirt while he's
I get you.
Swimming grosses them out. And I'm like, well, but have you never done that when you're a kid and you're like, your mom's like, oh, you already got a burn. You have to wear the shirt when you go swimming. No.
The only thing that I...
No? Was that just my mom?
Yeah, that's a you thing.
That's a you thing.
That's a buttery thing.
And I do like a wet chest contest.
The only thing I had that wasn't like a personal thing that I didn't like was Bumstead floating out into space. It was a little cheesy and it looked a little dated. But other than that, I thought everything else looked fine.
Well, let's segue to favorite lines. And I think Clef already called out when was the last time you remember doing something during the day. I thought that was cool. My favorite line, because I say it all the time and Mathew hears me say it all the time, no one ever listens to me. Bumstead.
Yep, that was a good line.
I liked, it was just a silly like one-off, but I liked when they said like, oh, everything, what was his name? Was the old detective who had awoken.
Oh, I don't remember his name.
I wrote it down and then I couldn't read it later, so I don't remember what it was. But they said everything he committed to paper is in this room, and then the detective said the only thing that needs to be committed is him.
Walensky.
Yeah,
Okay.
Walensky.
The only thing
Good.
that needs to be committed is Walensky.
I also liked the aliens saying, the city is ours, we made it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked "You're not crazy, you're just beginning to understand," because it's almost comforting because that's what waking up feels like, a little bit of madness, a little bit of divinity. And I liked "There is no ocean, John. There's nothing beyond the city," because to me that was sort of like the whole capitalism thing we discussed. And the last one that I wrote down was, I can't remember when I last saw daylight, and because that felt maybe like the most human line in the whole film.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite lines.
Well put.
Well,
My favorite was, I mean, I really liked the scene. I didn't really understand why I was in there to go see Carl Harris, his uncle, and like get some backdrop about his everything. But when Carl Harris says, "Yeah, I can't remember about getting to Shell Beach. The old Cracker Barrel ain't what it used to be."
yeah, that was a fun little moment. You know, like, do you remember how to get there? Yeah, of course I do. Well, tell me. Yeah, it was good.
And it's so funny with that whole like Cracker Barrel logo change in the news.
I know.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago. It's hilarious.
Well, why don't we segue to the ranking?
First, can I ask, do any of you believe in this simulation conspiracy?
No.
Not that I believe in it. It's more that, like, I understand the argument of it. I mean, the argument of it is basically that our technology is getting better at simulating reality. Like, we have seen, in our lifetime, we've seen television and, media go from, a representation of reality to almost like people go into it and engage with it as though it is real. And there's people who experience life as though what they are seeing on a screen is more real than what's in their real life. So there is this kind of argument of like, well, if that's true, and if the technology is going to keep getting better, maybe there's reason to believe that in the future they would create simulations that would feel as real as reality. And who knows why they would do that? Maybe because they can, maybe because the world is destroyed. But it's not impossible to think, I wouldn't go like whatever is happening right now is what's real for me. So that's what I go with.
That's well put.
Yeah.
For me, I used to be I used to be like a zero like Mathew, but now I'd say I got 1% openness because, I always thought I was a man of science, but the more I listen to people like Brian Cox, like real scientists, and I learn about the universe and physics and what actually is going on out there, the more and more it seems like just magic and simulation. Yeah. And I think there's got to be an outside chance. Like, I don't think you can say zero.
I like both of your perspectives. That's really interesting.
I think you can kind of say zero.
That's what a simulation would say. They always put a character like you in a simulation.
100%.
We all have to play our roles. But I think that people who believe we're living in simulation aren't crazy. I think they're trying to make sense of a world that feels uncomfortable, maybe a little bit too designed or convenient. And it's less about like it's about control. It's about, I think it's this innate feeling that it's true that somewhere out there is writing the script for us, but they can't quite put their finger on the reality of that, so they talk simulation theory.
And like Nicole, like you and I both both work in schools, so you know what this is like. Like, that's what a classroom is. It's a simulation. Those kids, they're living what they experience as their life, but it's a controlled environment where like everything's being set up for them, and like the end goal is to sort of see how it plays out and see what you get.
A huge part of being an EA is giving kids the illusion of a choice. That's literally the whole job, is you're telling them what to do, but you're framing it in a way where they think they're making a choice. So that's actually a really good point.
You do that to me.
Yeah.
That's marketing. That's
I
marketing.
use all my EA
Inception.
skills on you. How do you think I get you to do what I want?
Oh, my.
No, I really like all your perspectives on that. That's really interesting. I'm kind of the mind frame that I don't believe it, but I also, if it were to be real, whatever. I don't really care. If I'm living a simulation, I like my simulation.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
That's a good attitude. I like my simulation too, even the Mathew part. Other thing I just want to say before we move on too is this whole tuning thing in the movie. I got thinking a little bit about this as, manifesting. When people say, visualize what you want, think positive thoughts, and things will go better. And I think there's a little bit of something to that too. That's kind of the real tuning, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to explain to people how true that is, that like positive intention makes things actually happen.
Yep.
And voicing what you want to happen actually makes it happen. Like you can put things into reality by speaking them.
Yep.
And it doesn't feel like that's true. That feels like very wooey, but
Are you talking about manifesting?
Yeah.
it's not manifesting. It's actually like it's just pointing in that direction. You can't just I can't make the sun disappear.
Okay, Louise Hay or whatever. Her
Clef,
name
when was the last time you saw the sun?
I can't put a day to it.
Okay, well, before we say another smart thing, I'm going to get on to the box office performance of this.
Oh, thank God.
So this was a huge year at the box office. According to Box Office Mojo Worldwide, Dark City was the 76th highest earning movie at the box office in 1998. Armageddon was the leader at the box office this year with 553 million. So this smart movie was beat out by a movie about astronauts blowing up a meteor. But
Armageddon made $500 million.
$500 million in the day. It was a monster hit. It's actually a fun movie, but still. Dark City was beat at the box office by other sci-fi movies in the same year, like Godzilla, Star Trek Insurrection, The X-Files, and Sphere, which was an interesting film. To put it in perspective, it was also beat by Night at the Roxbury.
Wow.
Still, this wasn't the bottom. So it beat Species 2. The movie is called Soldier with Kurt Russell that I'm dying to do on this podcast. So it wasn't the bottom. Titanic was the best picture this year, and I say fine, let James Cameron have his Oscar.
I'm just shocked that Armageddon made that much money. It's not a good
It is. It's a fun movie. It's
It's a terrible
Okay,
movie.
I'll
I've
put
never
it.
seen it.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
don't
it
bother.
either.
Don't bother. They made enough money off of that schlock.
Well-
Liv Tyler's in it if you like her.
Okay, by the numbers, I'm going to give you guys the budget.
Matthew,
Dead silence.
We're going
going
to
off
ignore
beast
Matthew
here.
and his Armageddon pod. Budget, $27 million. What is your guess at how this movie did?
30.
Well,
I would go 40. I'd say 40.
Thank God for editing.
Dead air.
I think, yeah, I gotta keep you working, dude. I didn't see this. I don't think it made a lot of money. I'm gonna say it was like, I'm like with Nicole, is about 30 million.
Yeah. Well, you guys are right. 27 million. So 27 million budget, 27 million box office.
Wow.
Break even.
Which it isn't, because you have to double to make money, right? Because you have to do some promotion. And honestly, I don't get why it wasn't successful. Like, I know it's not a $500 million box office film, but I don't get it. So,
Because all the people spent their money on Armageddon.
well, the more interesting part then is what critics thought of this and what audience thought of this. And I can't wait to see if you guys can get close. No hints today.
Matthew,
Okay,
you go
well-
first.
Yeah.
Well, you just gave a hint by being excited about like giving us a box office, but then being excited about what critics and audiences say. So you're so easy, Olen. So you're like giving away that it's done better.
Well,
with
let's
them
see if your
than it did in
numbers
the box
reflect
office.
your read.
69 critics and 79 audience.
Okay.
Clef.
Anytime that we have these talks and we all like the movie, I always feel like it ends up like audience doesn't like it as much. So there's a part of me that feels like the audience is like 60 and maybe the critics are like 65.
Yeah, but remember, Clef, right? So what happens is these scores that Olen gives us are like over time, and this has become sort of what I've realized is one movies become sort of cult. Like, oh, when people are like, "Why didn't it do so well in the time?" The scores start going up because it's seen as an under sort of an underliked
That's a
one
good
of
point.
its time.
That's a good point.
But I don't know
Yeah.
if this is cult because I don't know anybody that talks about this movie. I knew it from going to the theater in 1993, but I don't know anyone that knows this movie.
Yeah, it feels like a cult movie, but I don't think it's a cult movie in that same
It
way.
feels very forgotten. Like I wouldn't expect anyone that I know to know it. Although I did tell one of my friends I just watched it, and he said, "Oh, I've seen that," which was shocking to me because I've never heard of this in my life. Anyway,
Right, and if it's sort of a forgotten one, then my theory here is so like the data is only real geeks will watch it and comment on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's a hard.
That's a good point.
I'm
That's a
getting,
great point.
With all of that context, Nicole,
This is-
I'm
muddying
getting
your
a
view.
vibe.
This is how I figure this stuff out. Claire.
Normally I go like even numbers, but I'm getting a vibe. I'm gonna go 79.
For who?
I always
Critic or
go in the
audience?
order he asks us, Matthew.
Someone follows the rules.
And then like
I do the opposite
a
to make him work.
75.
Okay, you guys. So critics 77. So critics liked this movie, and audience 85.
Okay.
Oh,
So audience
Wow.
liked it too. So Clef, sorry, you're way off with a 37. Matthew, you had a 14. Nicely done. Nicole, you win this week with a 12.
Yes.
Boom.
Bam, bam, bam.
If I was playing this game, I have to do the research, but if I was playing this game, I would have put both of them lower. I would have thought like a
Yeah.
50-50. Honestly.
yeah. I got thrown. Olin got me.
Some movie trivia. I told you, but I thought this was fascinating that the set pieces were sold to the Matrix. You can actually go on YouTube and watch videos where they do scenes from Dark City, scenes from the Matrix, and see like the same building. Kind of cool.
That would be cool.
That is cool.
They deliberately obfuscated the time frame. We talked about that. An earlier draft of the script had Dr. Schreber being skinned alive in the finale.
Oh.
Okay.
And Clef, you mentioned that you like the editing in this.
Yeah.
This film has the shortest average shot length in history at 1.8 seconds. That means, on average, this film was built from piecing together 3,333 pieces of film.
That's pretty cool.
That totally tracks. And you know, there was a lot of scenes that felt to me like very intentionally the scene that they shot was probably shot a lot longer and there was probably a lot more activity and they just did these really hard cuts and like left a lot on the editing room floor because there's so many scenes where you go like, whoa, like what did I just see there? And you want to like go back, but it's very effective. It's like, you know, when his hotel, like the hotel front desk guy is like a different guy suddenly, or like, you know, he looks at the Shell Beach and it's like, wait, is that Shell Beach or is that some other place? Or like, for example, when Walensky comes running back into the crime scene and he's insane. At first, you know, the cut, it's like, is that Murdoch? That might be Murdoch. Like the first half of the movie is so disorienting because of how these like quick cuts.
Yeah.
Super cool. Very like intense editing.
But things like that were all good hints that they were changing it every night. The fact that the next day the guy at the front desk is just a different guy
Yep.
and he's saying the same things. It was good hints
Right.
that something more was coming.
Exactly.
So you guys know that this guy did The Crow, a very similar looking movie, also a good movie. And Brandon Lee was supposed to be the lead to this if he didn't die in The Crow.
Oh,
He died
okay.
in the movie.
Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, died
He was
young.
shot in the movie.
There was a scene where he was shot and there was an accident with the prop gun and he died in the movie.
He got rusted?
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Damn.
Yep. And then first choice for the lead was Johnny Depp or Tom Cruise, but they ultimately thought that having someone so recognizable would take away from the movie, so they wanted somebody a little less known.
That was a smart choice. I thought the actor did a really great job.
And then Warner Brothers didn't like the title, thinking people would confuse it with Mad City and They wanted to change it to Dark World, but then Steven Spielberg said no because we've got The Lost World. Then it was changed to Dark Empire, but Lucas's team objected due to The Empire Strikes Back. So in the end, they just said, fuck it, Dark City.
It's a good name. I think it works.
Nicole, woke or joke?
Yeah, and what's that other Mad City, whatever? Like,
Who knows? Nobody's heard of that movie.
Who knows?
I didn't find anything.
I have one woke or joke.
Okay.
Matthew, do you have any woke or joke in this?
Well, I think the whole thing's woke in the truest sense of awakening, right? Like metaphysical awakening.
Here's what I had. Aliens undressing you without your consent.
I mean, yeah, but they were also like using them like lab rats. I think that's the bigger problem.
Yeah, that's definitely not woke to use lab rats.
I didn't find anything. I thought it aged very well. And I think part of that was the fact that it didn't have a set date. It was very...
That's clever.
Yeah, it made the movie age well.
Okay, well, however you guys felt about this movie, I promise you there's others who liked it more or less than you. For this movie, there were 195 10-star reviews out of 788 total reviews. So over a quarter of the reviews were 10-star. In general, reviewers praise the innovation of the movie, calling it severely underrated, and a lot of people calling it the best sci-fi movie ever.
It's certainly the best gothic sci-fi I've seen.
Crass Action Hero says you will most likely watch this over and over to figure everything out. No problem, the movie never gets old. James the Movie Guy says, if you like the works of Stanley Kubrick and David Lynch, you need to see Dark City. Rune Anderson calls it a perfect story, brilliant acting, the best sci-fi movie ever made, both artsy and Hollywood at the same time. Ian Heath says, Dark City goes to a level that no science fiction program or movie has ever gone to before in my mind.
High praise.
And last one, Fever. I happened to see this movie because Lost in Space was sold out. Man, am I glad I saw this one instead. Oh, Lost in Space, the remake, was a piece of shit.
That's always how you find the best movies, is you don't intend to watch them and you just go, whatever, I'll pick whatever's the closest. And then it's usually a gem.
Agreed.
Do you know what I do this thing occasionally, like midweek? Well, I don't right now with work, but many times midweek matinee, I just walk to the cinema, and whatever's playing next, I watch.
I love that.
That's fun.
It's so fun.
I love that.
I was planning to do that today.
And you go, and it's like it's a Wednesday, it's noon. I'm the only one in the cinema. I just rock up, buy whatever's next, and watch it. And I've seen some great movies out.
I have to say, I went to the movie theater last night for the first time in a long time, and I just love movies in the theater. It's just such a good experience.
Well, I also just have to say, our new movie theater, since we've moved, so much better than our old movie theater.
It's insane.
It's a great movie theater.
It's like sitting in someone's living room. Anyhow, we're not going to advertise movie theaters on here unless they pay. Now we hear from people who liked it less. And for this movie, there were 16 one-star reviews compared to the 195 10-star reviews. And I have to say, I didn't understand most of the one-star reviews. Jan Madden, this movie has no plot or leads to follow. A soulless movie of nobodies and boring characters that never evolve to anything more than just a flashy image of neo-noir composition. I had no idea what this movie was about at first. I was baffled and curious for a long time, and then I was just bored. Brian268 says, if you enjoyed this movie, odds are 10 to 1 you're a precious, pretentious art student. This is really the worst movie I've ever seen in years, and one of the few where I felt I'd been robbed, even though I got the rental for free. Harsh.
It's harsh, but I am going to steal that line.
He's a little bit special, isn't he?
NJ Cult says the plot was contrived and directed at the moody trench coat wearing audience who will gladly eat up anything that is served to them that they can be assured no one else will like.
That's a niche I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
The trench coat,
Ask
laughing
Matthew.
crowd.
What year was that written, that one, Olen?
I didn't write down the year that one, no. Two more very short ones. This guy says this was almost a good film, but ended up being a steaming pile of dark shit. And then,
Dark shitty.
And my favorite one-star review is just 2 words, Dork City.
That's a good one, too.
That is good. I give 10 stars to that 1 star. Siskel and Ebert. Now, I know Nicole's going to say one liked it, one didn't. But honestly, do you guys think they would like a movie like this?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
I think they would.
Okay. Well, Siskel liked it quite a bit and likened it to a comic book style. Ebert called this the best movie of 1998. He said it was a movie you could watch
Did he
again and
really?
again for its
Wow.
richness. Both of them discussed how this was visual storytelling excellence and suggested that this is the direction the Batman franchise should go.
Oh,
And they even suggested that Alex Proyas should get to direct the next Batman movie to save the series.
could have
Interesting.
seen that.
Ebert called it the best movie of the year.
Good
Yeah,
for him.
great. So here's the question: does this movie deserve a remake or sequel? Would you guys like to see more of this?
You know, I would actually love to see it remade with what we can do now with special effects.
Completely agree.
Completely agree.
It's one of those movies that it's like, yeah, I'd really like to see it remade really well. Like same story remade.
That's so interesting because I think it's pretty perfect as is. I don't feel the need for a remake. I think I would just tell people to watch this one. It feels timeless.
Well, I
It
agree.
is true. Yeah, it is true. The props and the editing and all that makes it feel like a masterclass movie as opposed to like something that was like contrived for telling that story, I guess.
I agree with both of you, or Nicole and the guys, in that I think it's a great movie as it is, and it should be left alone. But like Mathew and Clef, I would like to see it remade just because it's such an interesting story. And if you took another swing at it with some modern CGI, just to see what they could do, not to erase the first film, but I think it would be a nice companion piece. Well, the actual story is I did some research, and in 2021, Proyas claimed that he was developing it into a TV series, which I think would actually be pretty interesting.
Neat. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that is all I have for you. This turned out to be a really fun episode. I always get a little bit nervous with these weird ones that, it's just going to be a pile of shit. But you guys came up with some really interesting stuff. I love talking about it with you guys. But do you think this movie is too old or pure gold?
I think it's pure gold.
I think it's pure gold.
I think it's pure gold.
I think it's pure gold. Unanimous.
Unanimous. Woo!
Another rare unanimous judgment. This is fantastic. Wow. I'm happy. This is one of my favorite combinations when I find a movie that people really haven't seen before or heard of, and then it's a little bit weird, but turns out to have some interesting things to talk about.
Although I was
They did a really good job on this movie. Like it was just it was different than anything else that was out at the time. They just did a
Yep.
great
this movie
job.
felt creative. It felt human. And like there's, like this week you're hearing all about this like new AI app that's like puts your face in the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I just think that like this movie feels like it was made by by people, and that it's like a story about being human. And like, yeah, maybe that's part of why it felt relevant, but yeah, it stuck.
Yeah, really cool.
I really liked it. I'm definitely going to tell people to watch it.
I appreciate you guys doing this episode.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys, and hope you guys have a delightful weekend.
You too. Oh, and happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Oh, is it your
Yes, it
birthday
is.
today?
Yeah, I was going to try and get us to sing, but then I realized that's probably not great for recording.
No, none of the audience cares, but I'm glad you guys do.